In the countryside of Dorset, England, there stands a house that shouldn't exist. No one remembers when it was built, who built it, or why. Some say it appeared overnight. Others swear it has always been there, waiting. They call it Marrow House, and if you ask the locals about it, they'll tell you this: don't look at it after dark. The first written mention of Marrow House dates back to 1892, in a letter found among the belongings of a local farmer named Elias Croft. The letter, written to his brother, reads, "Something is wrong here. The old house by the ridge has changed again. I passed it this morning, and the roof was higher, I swear it, as if new rooms had grown in the night. But there are no workers, no tools, no sound. It just builds itself." At first, people thought Elias was losing his mind, but within weeks, others began to notice the same thing. The house was different. Windows appeared where there were none. New doors materialized overnight. The building grew taller, spreading wider across the field, like ivy, silent, steady, unnatural. No one ever saw anyone entering or leaving. Yet smoke rose from its chimney on cold mornings. Lights flickered behind the curtains at dusk. And then came the noises. At first, faint hammering, distant, rhythmic, like nails being driven into wood. Then whispers, low, muffled, coming from inside the walls when no one was near. In 1893, a local historian named William Granger decided to investigate. He was known for debunking myths, witches, haunted wells, ghost stories, and he was certain the rumors about Marrow House were just that, stories. So he brought his notebook, his lantern, and his skepticism. When he arrived, the house stood still beneath a gray sky. It was large but oddly uneven, as if several different architectural styles had been stitched together by an invisible hand. Some windows were bricked shut, others had glass so old it looked like water. The door opened with a long, reluctant creak. Inside, dust hung in the air like fog. The furniture was mismatched, some pieces centuries old, others newly made. A staircase wound upward into darkness, but William noticed something strange. There was no second floor. From the outside, he'd seen at least 3 stories, but inside, the ceiling loomed low. As he explored, he found fresh sawdust on the ground, but no tools, no footprints. Then, from somewhere above, came the sound of hammering, slow, deliberate. He froze. The air grew cold, and when he looked back at the front door, it was gone. The wall where it had been now bore a window, newly formed, the wood still damp with varnish. He stumbled backward, heart racing, and realized the hallway behind him had changed too. A new corridor stretched into the dark, one that hadn't been there before. The house was moving. Granger's journal was found weeks later in the woods, several miles away. The pages were water-stained, the writing shaky. His final entry read, "It builds, it breathes, it learns the shape of whoever enters. No trace of him was ever found." Over the next century, Marrow House became legend. Locals swore it grew taller every few years, expanding deeper into the forest. Survey maps couldn't keep up. The structure's dimensions changed constantly. Some explorers claimed they saw lights inside, flickering like candles, moving from window to window. Others went missing entirely. In 1978, a team of university researchers brought motion cameras and mapping equipment. They spent the night inside, documenting the house's structure. At 2:17 a.m., every camera went dark. When the equipment was recovered the next day, it showed several hours of static, followed by a single flickering frame of an empty hallway. Then, just before the footage ended, a door appeared in the wall, slowly, from nothing. Today, Marrow House still stands, though no one knows quite where. It seems to shift location, sometimes seen near the woods, sometimes on the far hill. Satellite images fail to capture it. Roads that lead to it one day vanish the next. Those who claim to have found it describe the same thing. A tall, silent house with too many windows, a front door that breathes cold air like lungs, and the faint sound of hammering from somewhere inside. They say if you stand close enough, you'll feel the ground tremble beneath your feet, as though the earth itself is helping it grow. One story tells of a man named Arthur Bell, who returned to his hometown in 2004 after decades away. He remembered Marrow House from his childhood, a dark shape at the edge of the forest that everyone warned him about. He decided to see it again. He drove down the old road, parked his car by the field, and walked until the mist parted. There it was, taller than he remembered, its roof curling like a crown of broken wood. He stepped closer. The front door was slightly open. Inside, he found walls pulsing faintly, as if breathing. Furniture made from strange, twisted lumber that looked wet, alive. He felt dizzy. The air smelled like earth and rain and rot. He turned to leave, but the door had closed. Neighbors found his car still parked by the field 3 days later. The keys were in the ignition. The driver's door was open, but Arthur was gone. When police searched the area, they found the grass pressed flat, as though something massive had shifted overnight. And where the house had stood was only open field. Locals say the house still wanders, building itself in new places, growing stronger, hungrier. It builds from the wood of the land, from stone, from the memories of those who enter. And every century or so, it begins again, quietly constructing itself from nothing, one board, one window, one room at a time. No one knows what drives it or who or what lives inside. But if you ever hear hammering at night, slow and steady, echoing from the hills, don't go looking for the source, because if you find it, it might already be building a room for you. If you like more hidden horror and dark stories like this, subscribe to Legends of the Dark.